Nobody in the neighborhood dared to go near the big German shepherd that had taken over the front yard of the old Miller house. It wasn't just a case of a bark worse than its bite. This dog meant business. His growls could be heard from across the street, and anyone who tried to get too close would be met with snarling teeth and lunges that sent even the bravest delivery guys running. Some said the dog had been trained as a guard. Others whispered he'd been mistreated. But no one really knew. What they did know was this: the dog was angry, aggressive, and absolutely untouchable. Families walking their kids would cross to the other side of the street. Teens who once dared each other to sneak past the fence gave up after one terrifying encounter. The dog, his name was Shadow, seemed to trust no one. Animal control had been called more than once, but each time they came, they backed off quickly, saying he was too aggressive to capture without risking injury. And so Shadow stayed, alone and feared, behind a half-broken gate that never seemed secure enough. But then came Lily. Lily was just 5 years old, with pigtails, a pink dress, and the kind of innocent fearlessness that adults lose over time. She lived 2 houses down and had seen Shadow many times from her front window. While others saw a threat, Lily saw something different. She didn't understand why everyone was afraid. She only saw a dog who seemed very, very sad. It started one sunny afternoon. Lily, without telling anyone, walked right up to the edge of Shadow's yard. The dog spotted her immediately and did what he always did: growled, barked, and lunged. But Lily didn't flinch. She stood there, small and calm, just watching him. Shadow barked louder. Still, she didn't move. Finally, she did something no one expected. She smiled and said, "Hi, doggy." From the window, her mother screamed and ran outside, pulling Lily away in a panic. "Don't ever go near that dog again," she shouted, heart pounding. And yet, the next day, Lily went back. And the day after that. At first, the neighbors thought it was a death wish. They warned Lily's parents. Some even considered calling child services. But something strange started to happen. Shadow's barks grew less aggressive. He still growled, but it was different now, almost confused. Lily would sit on the sidewalk across the yard and talk to him. She'd bring crackers, bits of sandwich, and even a small stuffed animal she thought he might like. Of course, she never got too close, but she was there every day without fail. After about 2 weeks, something changed. One afternoon, as Lily sat cross-legged on the sidewalk, Shadow walked up to the edge of the broken gate. Not barking, not growling, just watching her. Then, slowly, he lay down. For the first time in months, someone had calmed the dog that no one could even get near. The neighborhood started to notice. People stopped whispering warnings and started watching curiously. Cars slowed down to see the strange sight. A tiny girl and a huge dog, sharing silent moments like old friends. Her parents still worried, of course, but even they couldn't deny something amazing was happening. Shadow wasn't the same dog anymore. One day, Lily's mum decided to let her walk a little closer, still under watch. As she approached the fence, Shadow stood up and wagged his tail. A small wag, but it was there. Lily held out her hand, palm open, and the dog came forward. Slowly, gently, he sniffed her fingers, then licked them once. That was it. That was the moment everything changed. From that day forward, Lily and Shadow became inseparable. She'd come by every afternoon, and he'd be waiting. Eventually, she was allowed into the yard under close supervision. She would sit beside him, read him picture books, and stroke his back gently. Shadow didn't growl anymore. He didn't bark at passers-by. He didn't lunge. It was like the storm inside him had finally passed. No one really knew what Lily had done or how she did it. Some said children have a kind of magic. Others believed Shadow saw something in Lily, a kindness he had forgotten existed. What was clear was that her gentle presence had reached him in a way no adult ever could. Eventually, with help from animal rescue volunteers, Shadow was taken to a vet and properly checked out. They found he had an old injury, maybe from before he was abandoned or lost, and it might have explained some of his aggression. But physically, he was fine, and emotionally, he was a different dog. A few months later, Shadow was adopted, officially by Lily's family. Her parents, once terrified of him, now trusted him completely. He slept by her bed, walked beside her to the park, and even let other kids pet him. The dog everyone feared had become the gentle protector of the neighborhood. The story of Shadow and Lily spread beyond their street. Local news picked it up. A reporter came by and interviewed the family. The headline read, "Tiny G,